This was all designed to be a very, very, very simple process. Okay. But the reason why I went into that long sort of tirade is because I want you to understand that every single piece has a symbiotic relationship. The book is relational to the pre-listing package, which is relational to the pre-listing video. And you have all three of those in your business, then you've got an absolute rocking listing business. And a lot of the leverage is done for you so that you don't have to work so hard. I don't want you showing up at a listing and trying to win the listing. I want the listing to already be. When I show up at someone's door, I just want you to understand this. Last time I say this, when I show up at someone's door, I already have it. The listing is mine. It's done. Okay. Because they already have my book. They already have my pre-listing package. They already have my pre-listing video. Okay. I don't have to do any selling. And that's what's really important for you to understand that. Welcome to the Success with Listings podcast, where we help you get success in the real estate game the easy way. Now you can get off the roller coaster of feast and famine and out of the rat race of competing with every other agent in town. Hi, I'm Knolly Williams. I took over 1,000 listings during my first 10 years in the real estate game, and in this podcast, I show you how to have success with listings. Let's go. All right, so with that, how many of you tracking with what I'm saying? Okay, cool. All right, so let's go into putting your book together. And I'm just gonna do this really, I'm gonna show you, well, actually, I'm not gonna do it from scratch because I already have um a template for you guys. So you don't have to do it from scratch, and please don't. So when you go to Success with Listings to the support page, okay, this is the client support page, and most of you know that this page exists. It's actually, to get there, you go to successwithlistings.com/support. That's all you got to put in, successwithlistings.com/support. And this page will walk you through a lot of information, basically. There's a quick start guide and different things like that. This gal, I met her at an event that I hosted, and she was talking about how she used the seller guide. By the way, this is 10 years ago. Can you believe that? This is crazy. Anyway, she used the seller guide to meet with 40 sellers at one time. How'd you like to do that? She did a seminar. She had 40 sellers meet with her, and she gave books to all the sellers that came to the seminar. And she absolutely, I think she got like 13 listings out of that one seminar. She talks about it in this video. So there's a lot of different ideas here as well. There's vendor enrollment forms and different things like that. The scripts that you can send to your vendors. But what I want to show you today is this right here. So this is the Canva template. Okay, and this is a video that walks you through how to edit and this is also a graphic that shows you how to edit your cover. Now, I have a lot of people that ask me, should they use the Canva version or should they use the Microsoft version of the cover? And because I give you both versions, I 100% of the time am going to refer you to the Canva version. We did the Microsoft version because a lot of people asked us for something in Microsoft because they weren't using Canva. But I got to tell you, I just don't recommend it. It's very, very restrictive. When you go to move things around, you could use either one and both work. But when you go to move things around, you don't have the flexibility and the freedom that you do in Canva. So I would say just use the Canva version, which we actually a couple years ago we created. So all you do is you click to download. There's a button there that says click to download Canva. And then what you're going to do is, instead of saying edit template, because you're not actually editing the template, you're just going to use template for new design. Okay. You're going to click that. And what that will do is it'll open your Canva account. And obviously, if you're at eXp Realty, you have a free Canva Pro account. So take advantage of it. And so then all you're going to do is everything is just drag and drop. Okay. I mean, uh, who here uses Canva? Raise your hand, show of hands. Okay. So I'm seeing most, pretty much everybody. So I'm not going to go into the details of how to use Canva. Okay. But all you're going to do is just change a few things. So on the cover, and I'm going to show you how to do this template, and then we're going to go into one that's more custom in a minute. Okay. So selling your Atlanta home. Okay. That could be selling your Austin home. Okay. You can get creative with the title. You can put a subtitle, and then it's just as simple as changing out your picture. So I'm going to go into Canva, and I'm going to go to my uploads, and I'm going to take this handsome guy off, and I'm going to put uh, this. Let's go with a fun one. Although I would never use a picture like this for my book cover. I just want to, right now, since I'm having fun with you guys, I'm just going to do it that way. I'm going to use a BG remover to take the background out because I don't like to have that white background there. And then I'm just going to pop my picture in. See how easy that was? Okay. And then I'm just going to change my name. And I'm going to go with an effect so it'll pop out and just put a little shadow behind that. And I'm going to go with a less transparency and more offset, a little bit of a blur. Okay, you could even go with something else. You know, you can go with an outline. In that case, I would have to go with white. I would change my letters, my color. No, see, I don't like that knockout background anyway. I'm just going to go with either lift or shadow is what I usually like. I'm going to go back to, I'm going to go white. So, I mean, obviously there's a whole lot more you could do. The service directory is another thing. You know, you just change out whatever trades that you have contacted. And I got to tell you, this is so cheap. I mean, like for $97, you know, my painter can have a spot here. I just had my house painted and it wasn't cheap, y'all. It was not cheap. So for $97 a year, the painter can have a spot here. I mean, that is just almost too good to be true. Your lender would have a spot here, and then you would have your spot here. This would be where you put your marketing for your real estate thing. And that's pretty much it. Now, what I want to show you is a trick. Let me see if I can find it. Um, okay. So there is a trick that I want to show you guys that I don't know that I talk about this anyway. Maybe I do talk about it in a video. I'm not sure. Ooh, that's my first sip of coffee of the morning. Oh, so good. Okay, so the trick that I want to tell you about is that Lulu actually has a template that you can design. You can, once you go into lulu.com, you could use anybody to print your book, doesn't matter. But I use Lulu because they have pretty affordable pricing. Um, you might actually be able to find a better price nowadays. So you check into it. But they also have this template creator. So I've already created, and what the template creator does is it operates as an overlay. How many of you have used the template creator at Lulu, this template thing I'm talking about, or you even know what I'm talking about? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands. All right, let me just show you this. This is going to be a game changer for you. So here's what I do. So I'm going to pop the template here on, and I'm going to snap it. Okay. Now, some of you don't know that I used to have a magazine. When I was 23 years old, my wife and I, well, actually, I did. I started a magazine. It was all Christian rap music, and I did that for a number of years. Actually, that magazine was carried in 700 stores, and I did all the graphic design, all the layout, everything for the magazine. and became a graphic, actually taught myself how to do graphic design. Most of my graphic design was always done in well, we used to have PageMaker and Quark back in the day, but then Photoshop was pretty much all I used was Photoshop. Well, now with Canva, I'm just blown away with the amount of things that you can do with Canva. So I pretty much use it. I can't even remember the last time I opened. I still have Photoshop. I can't remember the last time I opened it. But I used to do everything in Photoshop, and it was technical, very technical. But now you don't have to have Photoshop anymore. All right, so what does this template do? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I put the template in. What we're going to do, Paul, what we're going to do is we're going to give them a copy of this template so that they can have it. We're going to do that inside of school, and we'll attach it to this particular lesson so that you'll have this. So here's what I'm going to do. Watch this. This is a game changer. All right, I'm going to go to layer, and I'm going to bring this to the front. Okay. So now, what is this thing telling me? It tells me that this is where the front cover area is. And this area out here is, see this area in light blue? That's what we call the bleed. The bleed is anything that goes past the actual edge of the print of where the book prints. Okay. So you see how you have this light blue and then you have this darker, sort of like almost like a dark blue or maybe a purple. That dark blue, I'm a little bit colorblind, y'all. Yeah. So if it's a different color, don't hate me. All right. But this dark blue or whatever this color is, right? Midnight blue, whatever it is, that's actually the edge of where the book is going to be cut. That's the cut edge. And this extra space is called the bleed. And you want to leave that in there. And the reason is because whenever whenever a printer is printing, it's going through a press. If you've ever seen a printing press, it goes pretty fast. And there's a thing called jumping, if you've ever heard of it. So what happens is when printing is happening on a printing press, it's jumping a little bit. There's a little bit of a jump to it. Okay. And so as it's jumping, it's moving just a few millimeters here and there, like a hair here and a hair there. So if I don't account for the bleed, in other words, if I don't make the image go past the cut edge, it might actually have a little bit of a white edge around it because I didn't leave a bleed, what they call a bleed. So the bleed is very important. The trim size, if you notice, the document size is 11.49 by 8.75, whereas the trim size is 5.5 by 8.5. Um, as far as the front size of it. And then one will probably go down to about 11 and a quarter, something like that. So the reason is this is the trim line here, and this is the bleed portion here. Now this part here in what we call like magenta, that is actually the spine. Now the spine is really the trickiest part of the book to get right, so that if I put text in the spine, remember when I talked about that sometimes the press will jump around a little bit? What you'll notice is that sometimes that the print that's in the spine won't stay centered in the spine unless you get it really, really small. So on my book, I just omit the spine completely. I don't print it. I don't print on the spine. You can, but it's a little bit tricky, okay? And I'll show you a couple of examples of people that do print on the spine and some examples of some that don't, okay? So this magenta area here, that looks almost like a fuchsia is the spine, and then this is the back cover, okay? So they call this the safety margin, the bleed area, and the barcode area you don't have to worry about, okay? Now, the reason why this is a game changer, let me show you why, is when I change the opacity or the transparency of this, I can now see how my book lines up with the template. See that? All I'm doing now, you have to remember to take this file out to delete it before you send it to print, obviously. They'll kick it back if you forget. But I can actually change the transparency, and that will tell me more or less how is my cover lining up. And I can see that this part is going to be all trimmed off. Okay, and that's fine because I don't have any. Let me take this so you guys can see what I'm doing. I can see here that this part up here is going to be trimmed. That's fine. I don't have any lettering. And you see this safety area here that's in gray? I want to make sure that all my text is inside the safety area here. And it is. So I'm good. Okay. And then the same thing on the back cover. Okay. Now, if I can't really, you'll get to where you get a little confused and you might have to change the transparency a little bit just to see what you're looking at. But you play around with this and you'll be like, okay, yeah, I got it perfectly centered. Now you can see also that this area down here is a little bit outside the safety area. See that? No, actually it's not because that's the barcode. Yeah, that's their barcode area. Yeah, no, so we're still good. We're still good. So yeah, that's that little tip right there is what I wanted to show you. And that is, I don't think I've ever taught on that, but that's actually a game changer right there. Okay. So that's you're taking the stock generic cover that I created. Actually, I created this for you guys and you're manipulating it. Okay. Now I want to look at a custom cover, but before I do, let me see if there's any questions in the chat. Um, uh, Let me see. Jackie, I might have to get my co-pilot. Jackie just got her books back from the printer, like literally like this weekend or Friday or something. And I'm telling you, that book it's banging. It's nice. It's really nice. So good job, Jackie, doing the follow through, getting your book done. It feels so good to get that book in. And
Thank you.
yeah, congratulations. Congratulations. Um, Giselle said she couldn't hear me, but you guys can hear me okay. So she might have had a little bit of trouble. You guys can hear me okay? Yes? All right. I know you would tell me if you couldn't. Um, Jackie, you're saying, have you tried the little, oh, you're telling, you're helping her. Okay. Someone, yeah. Bradford says some of us need better camera lighting. Let me show you what I have. Um, that's a great question. That's a great, thing. You're distracting me, Brad, for a little bit. But let me show you my setup here, guys. So this is sort of a desk that I put together or that I bought. And you can see this desk. I actually have a video but I bought this desk on Amazon and it has wheels. Okay, so it rolls around. I can roll it to anywhere in the house. And you wouldn't believe this, but I'm working in the hallway. I'm working like in the foyer of my home right now. This is the front door. This is the light that's above me. But these are the lights that I purchased. See these big old giant lights that are on the back of me? See? That's how we do it, y'all. You know, we go pro, and that is not Crown Royal, by the way. I just love that cup. So, oops, what did I do? Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay. Pulled my video cable out. Okay. So I just wanted to show you. Yeah, I wanted to show y'all my setup. This cup has got me into trouble because I actually take this cup to church, believe it or not. And I'm like telling my wife, is there anything I can get to cover up this like love? I just love this cup, you know. So with you guys, I'm always holding it this way, right? You know, y'all know how I do it. You Michelle's laughing because she's seen that cup in a lot of my videos. She never knew it had the Crown Royal on it. I am gonna get some with the EXP and all that on it at some point, but my brother-in-law gave me that cup and I just love it. Anyway, um, I'm not a big Crown Royal guy, although I do like whiskey. I don't like Crown Royal too much. All right, so Jackie said not at church. No. But I did. My pastor's cool with it. He knows it's just coffee. Um, will my colors work well for printing? Oh, let me look. Let's look at your um book here. Michelle shared her book, so let's see. Oh yeah, this is nice. It's loading up. Oh, this is nice. Yeah, I like this a lot. Let me show. Can I show this off? Hold on. I don't see. Hold on. I can show this. You good? Okay, okay. So this is good. This is going to be really, really good. To show you guys another example of how you can do this. So this is Michelle, and Michelle's a big time leader. She runs our Black EXP network, the Ben network. She actually is as a volunteer. She does that, and she does a lot of other stuff. She's just a really cool person. Um, and she's got this the way she put the ultimate guide to selling your home. See how that looks more sexy, like it's not all blocky like the way I put mine. And I'm a guy, so it's just like we just get it done. Like list with Michelle in less time. I like how she put her byline there. That's really nice. And the colors are really, really good. I like the background. I like these little logos here because you do a lot with that NACA program. Is that on here? Let me see. You got your logo. Yeah, MBA Realtor. Um, yeah, I like this. Greater New York and New Jersey area. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I love these colors. Yeah, and by the way, you have a yeah, I see the love. Cindy's giving you a lot of love there. So, you have a gradient. How did you do that gradient? Is that something you did in Canva?
It's part of my brand board, that rose
Oh,
gold
okay.
gradient. And
Okay.
I was just concerned if it's going to look right for printing, you
Let
know?
me tell you something. Let me tell you something. And this is what I'm glad you brought that up because this is what I want to tell all of you. And especially want to talk to you, Michelle, but I want to tell everybody here. The reality is that with the reason why I went with like Lulu for printing the books is because you can print like three or four of them. You don't have to. And a lot of, I had one guy, he bought my system and he printed 700 books, 700. Okay. I was like, why would you do that? He was like, well, I got all the sponsor money. I was like, dude, just print like 10. But it was okay. I mean, the book came out great. So he was happy. But you just print 10 copies, print 5 copies. And if you don't love it, send it back, you print it again. You can go with all black, you know. A lot of times the ladies don't like that. The guys are like, yeah, I want on a black cover, it's all good. But yeah, I think this will print fine. It's a gradient. So gradients, what a gradient is it's a color that goes from one color and transitions to another. That's called a gradient. And that to me, that always looks beautiful in print. So I think you're fine. It looks great. Looks really good. And I like the use of the blue. I had a recording studio one time where I used these colors, kind of like a sort of like a I want to say peanutty brown, but it's like a brown peanut butter, like a darker than peanut butter brown. And this blue here, almost like not really a teal because it doesn't have the green in there, but those are very complementary colors, very complementary. So I like it a lot, you know. So, and you're miles ahead of 95 to probably 98% of the agents in your area that don't have it. Okay, you're miles ahead. Yeah, it's very beautiful. Okay, so let me show you. So that's an example of a custom one. And then I'm going to show y'all another custom one. And this is mine. So this is sort of the latest iteration of my book, and this is all done in Canva. Okay. So up here I have like sort of a little uh couple sentences. You could do something like that. Um, and then the consider it sold, the complete guide to successfully selling your home. And then I've got my picture there, and then the big logo there as well. Now, what I found was this sold sign that I like better because it's actually a sign. And so whenever you're in Canva and you're like, you know what, I think I could play around with this. I think I can make this better. Always duplicate your page. Some of you guys have learned this the hard way, right? Because that way, if you move things around and you're like, no, I liked it better before, then you don't have to recreate what you had before. So just duplicate it. In this case, I duplicated it and I just changed out the sold for an actual sign. You can see it's kind of like hanging there, like, and I might even move it to where it becomes sort of like it's like hanging on the dot of the I or something like that. So there's all kinds of cool stuff you can do here in Canva. If I wanted to, I could change easily any of these colors. And I have a brand board as well. So what what Michelle was alluding to earlier, she talked about that she has a brand board. And a brand board is, whenever you're using the same colors over and over again, then you want to essentially create in Canva a board where you have the colors that you use, and it'll tell you, hey, here's your brand kit. Um, Actually, my brand kit was jacked. I had I only have like 6 colors in my brand board. But how this color got here, I have no idea. Somebody's been messing around my account. But you can create a brand kit, super easy. You can add any color to your brand kit. And then, and we call it a brand board in the industry. And then you can use that, the same colors over and over again in your color schemes. So, um, and what I've done with my service directory is for some reason, I always like to put it in yellow. I don't know why that is. I guess I'm old school and I think of the yellow pages, you know, but I think of this as sort of an area that stands out. Like, hey, here's my service directory. Boom, right there. And then as I start to change gears, I I put go back to the other colors and and this one actually has a spine, but when I print it, I'm not going to have a spine on it. I'll show you the difference here in a minute. So this is my lender and this is me here. You always want to have yourself on the back of the book, even though you're on the front. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. But trust me, it's like people will turn it over like, because it's basically that's your business card, the back of it. Okay, that's your information. So let me show you some examples of with or without the spine. Okay. And I know this has been helpful to some of you. Uh, the cool thing is if you get them back from the printer and you don't absolutely love it, you just make a few changes and order another 5 copies. Okay. Give those 5 copies away, order another 5 until you get exactly what you want. This is the way I used to have my book. See how I changed the colors? Okay. So this is, you see when EXP had the orange and blue, I was rocking it like that. Now I'm rocking it more with the luxury. That's a little, let me turn off these lights. That's the one thing about these lights is the glare. Uh, I do have a remote control to turn those off, but I can never find it. Like, where's my remote? So this is that one. And then you notice there's no spine. See that? There's no words on the spine. Now, all the books that I've published over the years, they do have my wording on the spine. The reason I didn't do it on this one is because this book is so thin that it's just very difficult to get the text in there. Okay. But I'll show you some examples of people that have done it with, I just do it without. And then this is the back. And you'll notice that really all I've done is I've just changed the colors and made it more of a luxury look. Okay. So that's my book that you just saw. This is John Lauer. This is how he did his. Okay. He just did a sort of like white with well, basically KW colors. He does no spine. And then this is the back of his book. It's just all about himself. Remember, you can do whatever you want. This is you. This is your book. Okay. Now, what he did that was actually kind of clever was he added a little section about John inside, and it's actually like 3 pages long, which is all about him. Okay. So he chose not to even go with sponsors at all. And that's an option for you. This is Cal Carter. He did his, and he just kept it with that basic design that I showed you guys at the very beginning. Very, very basic. Pop the picture in, put his name on it. He's going with no spine as well. And then this is how the back of his book looks. Okay. So, and probably it wouldn't be a bad idea for me to scan some of these just to kind of give you guys more examples to go with. This is a really good friend of mine. His name is Kevin Cooper. And you'll notice I have a little sign on there, promo copy, do not take. I used to, whenever I would do seminars, people would steal my books. What's up, realtors? I'm telling you. So I'd be like, do not take. And whenever they saw that, they wouldn't take it. But because then they'd be like, oh, I thought it was for free. No, 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 no. So this is how Kevin Cooper did his, and a funny story. So Cooper and Associates, they're out of Elk Grove, just outside of Sacramento, and his wife went on a girls' retreat, and they basically it was like 6 ladies, and they went on this weekend type deal, and she met this other gal whose sister was a realtor, but Samantha, she had some of her books with her. And she gave, the ladies a book and everything. She was real proud of it. And so one of the ladies ended up listing her home with Samantha Cooper, even though her sister is a real estate agent. Now, how would you like your sister to list with somebody? That wouldn't be too. I don't know how Thanksgiving went that year for that family, but I will say that just having something like this will get you picked over family, you know, and so this is the way they did theirs, and and notice they didn't even put their picture on the front, and that was very strategic because now they can have their different team members use it, and anybody on the team can actually be passing it out and stuff like that. Um, and this is the back of theirs, how the back of theirs looks. Okay, and then let me see if they did anything special inside. Nope. Oh, they did add some testimonials. Well, they have about Cooper and Associates. They added those pages, and then they added a few testimonials, which I don't like that word, testimonials. I'll teach you that later when we go through the pre-listing package. I never use the word testimonials anymore. And then this is my boy Tony Swaggerty. See, that's a completely different look there. It's sort of a black cover. And let me turn this light off. The cover's black, and he just has his picture is the prominent thing. Ready, set, sold. Okay. So there's all kind of different ways that you could do this. And you'll notice that the Coopers do have a spine printed. Okay. And I know, Jackie, you did your spine printing and it looked really good. And then also Swaggerty put his printing there on the side, and it works. It works well. It's a little blurry there in the camera, but and then this is the back of his book. He's showing his team, and then and he does have sponsors, but notice how he did his sponsors. He's got a little write-up about them, and then he's got the pictures, either their logo or their picture. Okay. And he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sponsors on the back. So those are just some ideas that I wanted to give you, and I wanted to demonstrate how simple and easy it is to put your book cover together. Well, thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Success with Listings podcast. If you are serious about taking your real estate career to the highest heights, making more money and helping more clients while working less hours and spending more time with your family, be sure to get your copy of my free book, Triple My Listing, absolutely free at successwithlistings.com. Now, you want to be sure that you subscribe to the podcast and check out successwithlistings.com to get your copy of my free book. Hey, I'll see you on the next one.